Finally, we've been talking about Gabrielle, right? It took a while, about almost 3 weeks or so, but it's on the map, and we've got a lot to break down when it comes to both basins today.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Gabrielle is now in the open Atlantic. It is our next named storm, officially upgraded to a tropical storm yesterday, and it is going to be gradually intensifying. This ends nearly, as Craig said, a 3-week drought in terms of having a named system in the Atlantic. It's very rare. We haven't seen this in decades. So here's the latest on Gabrielle. The winds are at 50 miles per hour. It's moving at a good clip, 15 miles per hour. But it'll be interesting because the next 48 hours, pretty much holding steady. Winds are going to be around 45, 50 miles per hour, so not a lot of change. But you'll notice at the end of the forecast, as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we start to see things pick up pretty dramatically. We're anticipating Gabrielle to become a hurricane with winds at 75 miles per hour on Monday morning. And of course, Craig, this is something that we'll have to look at in regards to Bermuda. It's going to be a close call for them.
For sure, and you think about what it's going through for the next few days. So it might take a bit before it gets to that point. And I like where you pause at this point, Britta, because we're looking at the cone and where the center of the storm could go, areas that could be impacted. But there's a lot that goes in beyond that. To this point, it's kind of fighting a lot. And it might go
for people looking at it, they're like, well, why? Why did we stay like kind of stagnant for a couple days?
Yeah.
There are some limiting factors. I wish it was more limiting because then we could like squash this thing from the get-go.
Like we did with the last one.
But it isn't enough. But at least it does hold back the intensity. Because if you can imagine, if we ramp things up the first 2 days of this storm, it's only going to get worse from there because conditions are a lot more favorable as we move forward into next week. So the next couple days we have dry air, we have wind shear. So that's why we're going to keep Gabrielle as a tropical storm and have it kind of holding steady with winds 45 to 50. But as this kind of rounds the horn on the bottom periphery of that ridge of high pressure, conditions get a lot more favorable closer to Bermuda. The wind shear's gone, the dust is gone, and the water temps jack up.
Which is why at that point we're talking better chance for seeing that hurricane strength, perhaps Category 1. But you know what? We got some very warm waters there. The dip in the jet stream, which we just showed, is still our buffer, which we were talking about with you yesterday.
This is not going to be the East Coast storm, but
yeah, not at all.
I mean, Bermuda should watch this.
For sure.
Big swing though yesterday compared to today.
Yeah.
Now Bermuda's kind of on the westerly periphery. Yesterday, they were kind of in the middle. There's a lot of time to watch this. So again, we're going to see changes into early next week. We're talking about next Monday and Tuesday, the time frame where Bermuda has to watch out for this. Gabrielle's not the only thing cooking out there. We also have another area to watch. Low potential here. I think this tropical wave is going to struggle. We'll see if it can overcome. Maybe it's a little engine that could.
From the beginning, it's been fighting, right?
Yeah, 20% chances over the next 7 days. And the amount of dust is just crazy sauce. Yeah, so imagine a tropical wave making it through that. I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough one.
It is going to be tough. Well to the north, and then ahead of that as well, anything that wants to form, there's a lot of dry air and a lot of dust there. So I feel, to your point, Britt, it's the one that trying to do it, but everything is working against it right from the get-go. The next name we would be watching for would be Umberto. We are behind with the names, but hey, you know what? It's okay because
I'm fine with being behind.
With that. Okay, yeah, exactly. Why not? In this situation, absolutely. And there is also some activity to look out for after Gabrielle, which we were talking about. Of course, not in the immediate future, rather. But here at Fox Weather, we have hurricane specialist Brian Norcross, and here's what he had to say about what's been going on behind Gabrielle.
Over by Africa, it's got a low chance in here. The biggest reason it has a low chance, I mean, the dry air is there and all that, but the outflow from Gabrielle is forecast to affect this whole part of the Atlantic, and that would keep it down.
And there you go. And it's a conversation we have with you. We want to break down what's going on in the basins. We'll focus in on the Atlantic, and then in just a few more minutes, we'll talk about the Eastern Pacific. But let's go to the Atlantic. This is the outlook that we had that we went into the season with from Colorado State University. Very aggressive. NOAA as well. And then here's the average. Right. We were thinking it was going to be a well above average season, most of it for the sea surface temperatures. But a lot goes into this, right? It's not just how warm the water is. Here's where we stand so far. We've gone from A to F, and that is it. Ferdinand
well, and we have to add Gabrielle.
Gabrielle would be on here. You're right.
7 named storms.
7 named storms.
And we have a forecast for an above-average season. I mean, the idea that we're going to hit the numbers with the amount of time we have left in hurricane season is a little far-fetched. Then we have the East Pack, which is crazy on fire. I mean, NARDA's probably going to be named in the next 48 hours.
Well, this is the activity you would expect in the Atlantic, especially when you think about the forecast that was given. It's almost like we've switched basins. Not unusual, but the Pacific has been very, very active. And right from the get-go, this season begins on May 15th. But in the month of June, we went 6 for 6 as far as named storms. Britta, when we talk about all that's going on in the Atlantic Basin, let's talk about this specifically, because lots of areas to watch this time of month, but we also start to see a shift in where we start to see some activity.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when you look at the Atlantic Basin, for the most part, the dinner table is set.
Yeah.
We got plenty of warm water, and conditions have been favorable from time to time, you know, close to home, but we just haven't had any storms to take advantage of it. And as we go forward, there's naturally the shift that happens. We get away from the main development region, the end of hurricane season, and we start to see a lot more development close to home. So I think it's going to be hard to get anything out of the MDR, especially because we do have some cooler water for half of the region in the MDR.
Especially in the northern
So the components that are more favorable are definitely closer to home, and we're going to that part of the season where storms could actually move through. Because if you can imagine, you can have everything there for a tropical system to form, but if you don't have a storm that actually goes through, then you're good to go. How long does our good luck last? I don't know. We'll see. This is the long-range forecast, and as we continue to push that forecast through October, you'll notice that we do still have, you know, that potential for homegrown activity and the MDR listed in the forecast. So we'll see how things pan together, but definitely an interesting season thus far.